Hi guys. Okay, so this video is going to be about bone reading. Um, I don't know if I made previous videos about this, but I've sort of taken up bone reading, and I'm going to preface this whole video by saying that my bone reading set is traditionally hoodoo, and when I say traditionally hoodoo, that means that most of the bones in here, not all of, but most of, contain came from one specific animal. That would be a raccoon. That would be a raccoon. But then I also that was coming from. But then I also read this book from the Lucky Mojo Curio Company um, called Bone Shells and Curios, and it's by Michelle Jackson. If Mrs. Jackson is watching this, hi Miss Jackson. Um, Miss Jackson was kind enough to send me this book after I gave her a dice reading. So thank you for this, Miss Jackson. Um, and it introduced to me some new things about bone reading. Now, first of all, the thing that makes my bone reading set traditionally hoodoo is that I got it from a traditional hoodoo worker, and therefore it was a startup set. She told me that I needed about 13 pieces, and really, when she gave me the starter set, um, all I really had to do was go back and read through notes and read about what I thought was important to the bone reading set and what I didn't think was important to the bone reading set to know what I was going to have in my own personal bone reading set. Excuse me if I run my hair, if I run my fingers through my hair a lot. I've been doing that a lot today, guys. Okay, so let's get started. So we are going to start with this one. This is the raccoon penis bone. And the raccoon penis bone in my okay, sorry, I thought I had to burp. In my bone casting is actually a bone of fidelity, and it's a bone of a good relationship. And I feel like I really should have started this off. I started this off wrong. But this is the bone of a good relationship and fidelity. And if you sort of know the magical uses behind a raccoon penis bone, people used to make necklaces and give them to people. And so that was sort of the thing that you did with them. Um, Now let's talk about this piece because this was actually something that was new to my reading set. This came from the set that Mama Izzy gave me, and I'll put Mama Izzy's store link in the description. But this is actually a little person. Let's see, look at it. And this little person represents the person that I'm doing a reading for. And I was telling Mama Izzy, because Mama Izzy is the person that I bought my Lenormand cards from, and I told Mama Izzy, I was like, thank you so much for pushing me to learn those because the way you read the Lenormand, which is something I'm going to make a video about later on probably, um, is something similar to how you read the bones because by which particular thing is in which area, you can tell certain things. So there are similarities between reading the bones and reading the Lenormand. The only difference is bones are bones and Lenormand are cards. So we have the little conch shell. Little conch shell represents home, and it represents that atmosphere. We have a coyote tooth, and I'm actually substituting this coyote tooth in place of a coyote penis bone. So because the coyote penis bone means betrayal and possibly cheating, and so I just sort of thought, same thing. It represents the same thing. It's just a different bone. And we have the skull. The skull is not the original thing from the. This is not original to the set that I was given. it was actually something that I had of my own, and the original skull was smaller, and I didn't really like the color to it, so I just changed out the color for this red one, and I like this one so much better. And the skull represents your ancestors, and so this is a very important one in the readings, because a lot of bone readings do actually call on ancestors for information. I do have cowrie shells in my reading set. Hold on, you guys can't see them. They're three little cowrie shells. And this is an Arabic cowrie shell, which holds a different meaning than the other three. But I do associate a lot of, a yes or no, positive and negative omens in the cowrie shells too, and that comes more from my, my study into the Santeria tradition and the casting of Ifa. And we're just going to talk about a couple of more bones here. Um, I have three beads that all came from necklaces or jewelry that I had either hand strung, picked out, and then broke, or actually one of these actually came from a client that got a reading for me. Um, so let's start with this one. This one is a tiger's eye bead, and this tiger's eye bead represents the element of fire, and it would represent passion and the element of fire, like I just said, and all the things that come with the element of fire. So passion, light, guidance, all of those good things. Water, coolness, emotion, a great mothering and opportunities for prosperity. We also have an air, which is a creation. This is actually a hookah shell, if I remember correctly, hookah shell. And hookahs are very good for protection too. But to me, this is the representation of the element of air, and it represents all the things that come with air. So creativity, inventions, new beginnings, good things like that. And then you have this silver one, which represents the element of earth, and it represents, abundance and prosperity and grounding and centering energy and stuff like that. And then we have, of course, the dice. I chose to get a bigger dice because I want to be able to use this set on the go, and I don't really have the best eyesight. I don't wear glasses, but my eyesight isn't the best. I probably do need to wear glasses. Um, so I don't know how many pieces that was. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 12. And then I was told you need 13 pieces, but I would say anywhere between 13 and 20 are good. 20 might be a little bit more, what might be a more in-depth reading. And then we have a couple of more of these raccoon bones, and these are kind of from the new set that I told you guys that I'd gotten. And I haven't really put a name to them yet, so therefore I can't really give you a fair description on what they are. But this video isn't really about how to read the bones as much as it is about some techniques that I've read about. I've not yet had a chance to put into practice, but some techniques that I've read about that I've actually liked a lot. Um, so Michelle Jackson, I showed her book. She has this. She talks about in her book how ancestor work is very important, and so does Mama Star. And Mama Star, I don't know if Mama Star will ever see this video, but if she does, I just want Mama Star to know that I love her, and I have a great amount of respect for her. She comes to Omaha I think she's been up here almost every year for the last 2 or 3 years. I want to say two, but she has a lot of work, and the things that they both agree on is ancestor work. Ancestors come first off, and if you can see that over there, that is my little ancestor space. That it has pictures of my great grandmother, my great grandfather, a bishop from an old church. It has a lot of things in it that represent my ancestors. And the thing about the thing about my sort of family practice when it comes to ancestor worship, or not ancestor worship, but ancestor honoring, um, the male, the first male of the family. So every time, let's say that you have like three boys, and your three boys marry and take wives or husbands, and they start a new family. They have become the first males in their family. But let's say that you have a daughter and she gets married, and it's more on the daughters. It's okay. I guess I should say this differently. Let's say that you practice magic and you have three sons, and your three sons go off and start a magical. I mean, they go off and start a family, and you teach them traditions of practicing magic. The way I was taught was that you start with the first male in the family, so that would be that would be their grandfather. But with my particular family situation, it would be my great grandfather because um, it would be my great grandfather because I'm an O'Neill and I don't have my grandfather's last name. But if you have three daughters and your daughters go off and teach the magical practice to your kids, they would start with the honoring of the first male of their family. So they would start with their father, and that is sort of how that goes. I don't know if I really did a good job explaining that. I'll have to explain it more in depthly in a video. But so that's sort of how my practice went. And so Michelle says that there's this thing that you do that whenever you get a new piece, that you should sit in front of your ancestor altar and you should just sort of explain to your ancestor what it means to you. And so that way when you throw the bones and you throw when you throw the bones, that there's no misinterpretation of what it could mean, and there's no miscommunication between you and the ancestors. And if it's like a two-sided thing, like I don't have one here, but there's a crucifix. She says in her book that a crucifix upwards means sacrifice, and a crucifix downward means blessings. And that is a very good thing to keep in mind. If you have something that's two-sided, like a coin, if you want to put a coin in here, you have to think is like one side of the coin means good things, one side of the coin means bad things, one side of the coin means this, one side of the coin means this. So these are all things to keep in mind. This was just sort of a video to introduce you guys to my bone set, because I know this is going to be something that I am going to love to use, love, love, love to use. I actually had, I had an idol. Um, I don't want to say an idol, but I had a role model that I was very, um, that I really aspire to be like him. Mr. Eddie Gutierrez, and he was um, he was a great man. Some of you might know him as Hyperion. Um, he actually started the practice of the unnamed path, and that is a beautiful, beautiful practice. If anybody is interested in learning about it, I guess you can always go and listen to his podcast. But if you would like to be initiated, or if you would like to take classes on it, it's actually specifically just for gay men, I believe. I believe it's just for gay men. The thing that I've always associated with the unnamed path is a path for men who love men. So I've always assumed it was just a gay men tradition. I've never heard of women taking it. Uh, but he was a bone reader. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And a lot of people that I love read bones. A lot of people that I aspire to be like I said, Mama Izzy. She learned to read the bones. Mama Star learned to read the bones. And you can get bone starter sets anywhere. I know that Lucky Mojo sells them. Lucky Mojo has some things in their bone set that I don't have, and I actually have the pieces that they have. I just chose not to put them in the bone set. I think they put I think I'm missing a gator paw, which I have. I just don't want to get another one because that one was so hard for me to come by. Literally, that was the last one in store when I bought it that day, and it was $5, and It's not that it was expensive. It was just that it was the last one in store, and I don't know when Mama Izzy would have any more in. So I bought it, and I guess I could always go back and get another one if I really needed one. Um, but yes. Anyway, that was my bone video, guys. I was talking a little bit about them, and I just wanted to show you guys my set because I'm like really proud of it, and I can't stop staring at it. I'm really proud of it, and as I add to it, I will be making update videos, and I will be showing you guys what I've added to it and what that particular piece means to me and how I feel about the pieces that I've added. So, yeah. Bye, guys.